sector and living that robe life today, getting ready for the long weekend. So we have a bear break on Bitcoin, which is giving us our daily lower high. We knew once this bounce took place that we were looking for the daily lower high to be the most likely result. And there is a possibility that we remain in a tightening range into next week. So we've got our high, low. Lower high is set at 92.97. We'll just call that 9,300. And we dropped today, but so far holding the key short-term support of 8,815. As we know, there's been correlations with the S&P 500 that we've been having to pay attention to. And we had an interesting one form today and then change. We can see Bitcoin, watch the 15-minute time frame here at 8:30. This is a reaction to the jobs report. So we had consolidation on the 15-minute time frame. 8:30 rolls around and we see a bull break. But look at all this resistance. 92.57, 92.65. We got up to 92.58 and then dumped. So what was SPY doing at that point in time? It was basically going bullish and staying bullish for the most part. Bulls are keeping control at the moment right now. So looking at SPY, 8:30 rolls around, reaction to the jobs numbers, big bull move, and we didn't start consolidation until 10 a.m. and we pulled back, but that was just an hourly higher low. And you look at that on Bitcoin, and here is the pullback at about 10 o'clock. So we topped out at the same time as SPY. So bull move at the same time in reaction to the jobs numbers, topped out at the same time. But this pullback just flushed and triggered all these stop losses. We had a triple bottom right here where stop losses were triggered. And again, you look at SPY on the hourly time frame. So while on the macro scale, they're doing the same thing, SPY formed an hourly higher low and is keeping the uptrend, whereas Bitcoin dumped through a ton of hourly supports. So you can attribute that to more bear volume on Bitcoin. You can attribute that to a lack of liquidity in this market, triggering stop losses. Whatever you attribute it to, it's similar to SPY, but just a lot more magnified on that pullback. So bigger picture right now, we're watching to see can the bulls recover enough to stay in this range. So for the next few days, if I ask you what's the price of Bitcoin, and if you tell me it's in between 8,800 and 9,300, then I know that nothing's going on. And it's just a tightening daily range. So until one of these levels break, nothing's going on. Weekly time frame, set the higher low, tried to see continuation, failed to do so, and now we're heading back down towards our lows of support. And again, the difference between that and SPY, same weekly consolidation, but SPY set the weekly higher low, failed to get any follow through last week, but holding on just fine this week, and certainly seeing a bit more separation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500. And it's what we would call a bearish correlation right now because the Bitcoin bears are favored. It's almost like Bitcoin saw a step forward as SPY saw a step forward this morning, but then Bitcoin went 5 steps back when SPY only went 1 step back. So bearish correlation with the S&P 500 at the moment. Bitcoin dominance chart is not doing anything. So just sideways the last month. And we're watching, can we confirm this monthly bear flag or this weekly bear flag and drop to a lower low? That key support is 65.58. We broke it by 6 pennies with no follow through. Still sideways and just looking for a clear break. And until we get it, either by breaking 65.52 or 66.68, where again, nothing's happening until one of those levels breaks. ETH/USD. So also looking for a daily lower high to be set, but you can see the pullback not nearly as significant as it was for Bitcoin. So high, low, lower high is 232.77, and now we're watching to see can the bulls form a higher low compared to 215.16. ETH/BTC is holding on well for the bulls. Again, this was a weekly time frame where we were tightening up. We broke bullish with a lack of follow through. At this point, we can say the bulls will keep control as long as 2426 holds as support. If 2426 breaks from here, definitely a red flag for bulls because again, to see a tightening range that breaks resistance, gets no follow through, and then breaks support, that's a big red flag. At this point, it is a break of resistance with no follow through, but we're holding support. So maybe the bulls just need to catch their breath and give it another chance. But watching that support level very closely, have to see that hold after the initial failure to see a breakout of this range. We broke one level of resistance, did not break the second level of resistance. So now the altcoins that we're going to look at are ordered based on strength. ADA, BAT, and Link are our 3 lead bulls that we look at. Middle of the road, Binance and XTZ, and then LTC and XRP, the weakest names that we look at. So ADA USDT weekly time frame bull flag confirmed. Very strong follow through. 10687 is now the most important resistance level. That's the highest price that we've seen in 10 or 11 months. So it would be very notable if the bulls were able to clear that level. Let's look at the monthly chart. Keep in mind we have not changed the monthly trend. So if we do reject from 10687, and you can see how important that resistance level is with nothing really behind it, as soon as, or I should say, if we reject from that level, we will look for a monthly higher low to form as the bulls have tons of space. But we would have to lose the weekly uptrend for monthly consolidation to be underway, which means we would have to see a break of 693. BAT USDT. So weekly time frame bull move as well. Again, very brief consolidation into continuation. 3221 is a key monthly resistance here as well. If we fail to break that level, it's a monthly lower high. But again, plenty of space for a monthly higher low to form once we top out. Weekly inside bar is currently forming, and the daily consolidation, pretty significant at this point. We know that we're still in a daily uptrend. Bulls must hold 2402 for that to remain the case. But because of the size of the pullback, even if we see a bull move, we will just be looking for a daily lower high compared to 2989. So if the weekly inside bar forms and then breaks bearish first thing next week, the must hold support level is 2067, which was our last little weekly higher low, because again, when we lose the weekly uptrends, we zoom out and look for monthly consolidation to take place. And a lot of these crypto names, significant bounces from the low of the COVID dump, but not a monthly trend change yet. Link USD. So Link USD had the weekly bull flag confirmed as well. It too is looking up at a key resistance level of 498. We'll just call that 5 psychological monthly time frame. That is the most important level. Pulled up Macy's by accident. Who cares about Macy's? So we can see Link, that resistance level, pretty much the all-time high. 5 and then 510, and that's the all-time high on Coinbase. You're definitely going to be able to find previous price history on other exchanges. But that's a key resistance level. It's currently just about a triple top. Weekly time frame, still within striking distance, trying to hang around that resistance level. And you can see here we got up to 496. There's 498. And currently rejecting, the pullback in the cryptocurrency space occurred right as the bulls were attempting to test that level. Do we still have a 4-hour uptrend? You could say we lost a little support level. Clearly a ton of volatility. So I'd be watching for an hourly lower high to form on this bounce and a tightening hourly range. And if we see further bear follow through, we'll have a daily mini equilibrium to be watching with our high, low, lower high, and we would look for a higher low compared to 429. But again, it's a very clear resistance level, triple top of resistance. That's what all eyes are going to be on for the foreseeable short-term future. Binance, so weekly time frame, high, low. We did get a bull break, but just barely, and now we're heading back down towards support with 1391 as the most important support, and I take that back. We broke it last week. So it's a bull break with no follow-through, straight into a loss of the weekly support level, which again means zoom out, look at the monthly chart. Monthly consolidation appears to be underway. So I'm viewing this as, and actually I take that back, it's monthly inside bars right now. So we do need a little bit more bear follow-through, but if we get it, I'll be viewing this pretty much as our high, low of the COVID dump, high of the COVID bounce, and then scouting a higher low on the monthly compared to that low. XTZ USD, very similar. Bull break with a lack of follow-through. Support of 226 is still barely holding. We did break it, but pretty much by a penny. That's not a significant enough break, so I'll still consider that a double bottom at this point. But again, monthly time frame, if we get any notable follow-through, high, low, lower high, and we'll then look for a higher low and tightening monthly range. And again, that's what I'm looking for on the S&P 500. These bulls are remaining resilient, but you show me this chart, and the most likely scenario is a monthly lower high. Now, again, the difference is the S&P 500 has a Fed printer that props things up. So if anybody's going to give us the less likely scenario and just see a V-shape to all-time highs, it's going to be the S&P 500. But again, I'm just watching for signs of weakness for the potential of a monthly tightening range. The cryptocurrency space is giving us that monthly tightening range setup a little bit more clearly, and the percentage odds of it taking place are a little bit higher than the S&P 500 right now, with just how the last couple of weeks have gone. Now our weak names. LTC USD. So weekly lower high formed and key support of 39.34 did break. Again, not a lot of follow through on that bear break, but technically speaking, it's a weekly downtrend. So looking at it on the monthly chart, we didn't even bounce high enough to see that show up. We could look at it on the 2-week time frame, just looking a bit toppy on this bounce, and it looks like we have to reset and find a higher low compared to the low of the COVID dump of $25. XRP USD, similar, weekly lower high and lower low. So downtrend confirmed. And again, this monthly chart is just extremely weak. Inside bar, bear break of the inside bar. And again, this is one of the weakest charts out there. And XRP, BTC, showing us that as well. Free fall. So that's where we stand overall. Certainly going to continue monitoring the S&P 500, which has a really nice tightening 2-day time frame to be watching for the next week or two. Bears are hoping to reject from resistance that's being tested now, and then we would look to pull back and see this range continue to tighten through next week if the bears do get a bit of follow through. And we'll be watching the Bitcoin sideways range and the Bitcoin dominance chart sideways range as well. Don't forget to do good things. Have a good holiday weekend. Happy 4th of July for those in the U.S. Happy 4th of July for those not in the U.S. See you soon.
These are purple bush beans, so they'll be like string beans. There's some white ones. These will be regular. Or actually, I think these are yellow. Scarlet runner beans. They have some long vines, so I built a extension to this trellis. Got the white cloth so the birds don't fly into it. And I'll probably have to do that for the cucumbers as well. They'll get tall enough that I'll just extend up the fence there. These are the watermelons starting to run wild. I'm just going to let them go on the paths here. Normally you'd need to be worried about the soil making the fruits rot out, but this mulch should act as a good guard against that. So these are garden huckleberries, and they'll be a perennial that keeps coming back here. So I'll have to cook those into pies and stuff when I get enough. Squirrels climbed up and broke this sunflower, but it still has all these side shoots that'll make little sunflowers.